Heather, you look like this is a very positive thing, and that in a certain way you're relieved, right?
I mean, that was kind of the whole argument, right? That he had antibodies, so he's, immune. And I really thought it would be positive because he had a positive test for antibodies in June. So I'm really shocked right
Heather,
now.
do you believe that he will get a COVID-19 vaccine if he does in fact confirm that he doesn't have antibodies?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, this is all just like new to me right now. I mean, would you?
But I what?
Get the shot?
Like I said, I'm much more open to it.
We're so glad that we've been able to at least get you talking about it and changing your mind. And again, getting back to the antibodies, I think it's super important for you to understand, and for everybody else that's in our conversation with us, that the antibodies, whether you have antibodies present or none at all, like you had, we're not sure how that plays out with the disease, because we know people contracted COVID who had the antibodies. And for that being said, the only way that you can really reinforce your immune system is to get the vaccine.
And Ben, I heard you mention that you had looked at some studies, and I actually like the fact that you're looking at research, but what types of research studies were you looking at that led you to believe that having COVID definitely granted you immunity for a prolonged period of time?
Sure. So there's a study from University of Washington, there's studies from the NIH that are showing that, those who have prior have contracted COVID have a 95% antibody response, which is very similar to the vaccine. A new study out of Israel is showing that those who have natural immunity have about a 1% chance of reinfection versus like about a 30% reinfection rate on those who are vaccinated.
What I like is that you're following science, but sometimes you have to be careful because you look at certain studies, but you don't look at like the whole picture. So if we're looking at science as a whole and what the recommendations are, then we have to be mindful of the fact that the CDC has been very clear on their stance, and they've said even if you have had an infection in the past, you should still be vaccinated. You should not rely on that past infection. And when we look at antibody levels in general, we all have to be careful because we don't have a lot of information at this point. We're still trying to figure out exactly how high antibody levels need to be for a person to be protected. And the reason that we're starting to have conversations about booster shots is because antibody levels are falling. So what's interesting is you're both looking at the same information with the COVID vaccine and with vaccines in general when it comes to protecting your daughter. And you both want the best, but it's just so interesting how you can look at the exact same information and come up with two very different plans on how to keep your family safe.